Hey guys, stay tuned and see how I made this pretty cool birthday card. I also forgot in the video to show you I did the glossy accents over the eyes. I didn't realize it till after I finished the video recording. But first time using the Crazy Dog stamp set, so you're going to see that too. Alright, welcome back guys for another episode. Today I'm going to work on a birthday card, and I'm going to make it a little different than what I have been doing with most cards. Normally, I would use my Canson's watercolor paper and use like a die to cut it out, which I did in this one. And I would layer it on the card. But this time, I'm going to just do everything directly on the card base and just see how it turns out. This is a stamp set that I've decided to use. I've had these for a while and I've actually never used them yet, so I thought, well, let's break them out. So I'm thinking about this guy here. I also have the coordinating die set, which I always recommend anybody to get if you buy if the stamps come with a coordinating die set. These save you so much trouble when you're trying to cut these out. So I've not still decided yet if I'm going to stamp it directly on the card base and then mask him off while I do the blending of the background, or I might just stamp him on a piece of Canson watercolor paper, cut it out, and then use some 3D squares or 3D foam dots and have it lifted off the paper. So we'll wait and see how we do the blending here first, and we'll decide then maybe. So the three colors that I was thinking about using is, I've actually not used this one yet. I couldn't find it in the mini. Was the candied apple. So I had to get in the big one, which I wasn't very thrilled about that, but oh well. And then I'm going to use the Mermaid Lagoon, because this is a new little mini one that I had bought that I've not used yet. So it's a really deep, like almost like a turquoise blue. And then I'm going to use some of my seedless preserves, which I think I've used only once. So I was using my distress oxides a lot, and I need to go back to my distress inks that I have. So if you have one, which I highly recommend you guys to get, and I'll put a link in my description for this, is a craft mat. Ken Oliver makes one. This one is the Ranger one. This one's a little cheaper, and they work just the same. I think the Ken Olivers are quite larger, but as you can see, I don't have a lot of desk space, so this one works out perfect for me. Plus, I really enjoy Ranger products. They're very high quality and reasonably priced. So, I'll move this out of the way. I'm going to move this to the side till we get ready to use it. And I think I will just stamp him onto this piece of cardstock here and cut him out. So we'll blend the whole background first. And I have a blending tool here, which helps a lot. And use that side. There's a little mark there. What I'm going to do is just have it unfolded like this. And I'm just going to random pattern, random blending pattern on here. And I'll speed this up so you guys don't take forever. Okay, so as you can see there, I kind of got some ink on the inside. So we'll have to try to fix that a little bit because I don't want that on the inside of the card. So as you can see in the video there, I was having some problems with my red there. I don't know why it wasn't getting much ink, and this is brand new, but it does kind of like a film on it. So I don't know if maybe it was just it was drying out from the factory, made it set too long. So it wasn't exactly the right result. That's why I went back to the purple and tried to make it a little softer here because it was just really harsh. So not totally satisfied with it, but it's all right. It didn't blend as well as easily on this cardstock because I'm really used to, remember, always using my Cansen's watercolor paper. So that might be the kind of the reason too this problem. I've not ever really blended directly onto the card base before. So one thing you can do, you can either have you have an opaque white gel pen that can sometimes cover a lot of the mistakes. Kind of blend it. Or, I mean, what I might do is just try to cut out another piece of card stock and just put it over it. It'd be the fastest, easiest way to do that. So that was just one other way you could do it. Was just use an opaque white, either pen or if you have it in a little bottle, whatever. So now we will work on stamping out our die now next. Okay, so I have my Stamp Perfect tool out here. And you don't need this since we're going to be using the red rubber and foam. This don't be precisely anywhere since we're going to cut on it. Just place them on there. Shut the lid. And as everybody knows, I like using the Spellbinders Celebrations and Blackberry. This is a hybrid ink. So it's great for Copic water coloring. I use watercolors with it. I've used about anything, and I've never ever had this stuff to smear. I know there's others out there on the market. It's just this is my personal preference one. Since he's a new one, we'll have to stamp a few times. What makes these so great. You can stamp multiple times and get perfect images. Okay, I like that. I always try to take a little baby wipe here and just get us some excess ink. I don't like them perfectly clean because, like I said, I like to leave a little ink on there because it keeps the stamp a little seasoned. But you don't want to keep too much where you lose these fine details. It will clog up those. Put this to the side. And now we will get our dies. You gotta find him. The best thing to do is, these are sometimes hard to line up, but I try to get them as close as possible. And then I like to put just a little piece of washi tape on there to hold down the die. Like that. Then I have a cuddle bug, but whatever you use to emboss with. I was using this the other day, so that's why it's already out. And I also have the magnet plate underneath there, but like I said, I still like to use a piece of tape, especially on something that needs to be so precise, or a piece of washi tape, just so I know it's not going to move. And then make your sandwich and run it through. I like to back up over them just so, especially with this watercolor paper, it's so thick. I just like to make sure it got a good chance to really cut through that, which appears that it did. And there he's all cut out. So much easier than having to fussy cut yourself. So now we're done with this for now. Now next I'm going to go ahead and color him in, and I'll speed that up too so you guys don't have to sit here and watch that forever. I use, these are my alcohol based markers. They're very cheap. I bought these off of Amazon. They're nowhere near, Copic quality. But if you're just wanting to get into alcohol markers, which that's what I done, then I recommend these. These were only like $39 or not even $35. Can't remember, but I'll put a link in the description. This was, I think, the 40 or 60 set. I think it was 60 set. So I'll see if I can't find that. If I can't, I'll at least put the 40 set link in there. But I really like these for just wanting to get into the alcohol marker side. I also made this little swatch here of all the colors, because alcohol markers will, when they dry, they either become lighter or darker. So that's why it's always good to have a little swatch of your colors so you know what they look like once they dry. So like a lot of these lighter ones will go on darker, but they'll really get light when they dry. So it's just a little tip there for these. All right, so now I'll speed this up and you guys can just watch me color. Okay, so there he is. We didn't really have the right color for the tongue, so that's really a little darker than I wanted, but it's what I had to work with. I will definitely add some glossy accents at the end for his eyes, so they'll pop a little bit. And so there we go, though. So we'll make sure he's good and dry here, and we'll attach him to the card. Okay, so now we're going to work on getting him on there. But first, we're not going to quite put him down yet. We'll probably put him like this. I also have this stamp set here. It goes along with the crazy, it's called Crazy Talks. Goes along with the crazy line. And I'm going to put what the and happy birthday on the front. And put like kind of like it's come out of his thought. Or I do have these crazy thoughts. Maybe we'll do so. Let's make sure everything matches up again just fine. Actually, those stamped out really good. Okay, so now we will finish this card up. For the inside, since I already have it on the platform out here, I love these. These are called handwritten sentiments. I love these. I like these almost like old world calligraphy. We'll use this for the inside. I like it a little bit. I don't really like things right dead center. I like it a little bit higher, so it gives you room to sign your name if you want to write a little note in there. If you guys noticed here, I fixed the blemish. All I done was took some of my copy paper and cut it down to fit in there perfectly and just layered it. Because I didn't want it to be too bulky or thick. That was kind of the point of me doing this card this way instead of, you know, layering my Cansen's watercolor paper on top. So that's why I just used regular copy paper that I have here. Pickers sentiment up. And since this stuff is just regular cardstock, it's not the Cansen's watercolor paper, you probably get by just one stamping here, because it really doesn't soak up the ink like the watercolor paper does. So I have some of my 3D dots here, and I'm going to use the little ones here to put on him. And doing this, I know it's going to make it a little thicker to go through the mail. That's the reason why I wanted to try to keep the base and everything really as thin as possible, since I am going to have him popping up like this. Since I'm so obsessed with these things, I got these Fun Journeys Stampers, Fun Stampers Journeys, sorry. They're not fingernail polish. I've had some people ask me that. They're called Sparkel Silks, or Silk, sorry. These are. This one is the Sparkel Silk, which isn't by far my favorite one. But these also have some sparkle in them. But they're just called, you know, they're just great for flicking some color on your projects here. And so you definitely, before you use these, you definitely want to put your craft mat back down because they are kind of messy. And we might just do some of the teal. I'll have a link to these in my description. Well, to the website. I think I'll probably link the Sparkel Silk one, but you also can look around on there and find the color silk. But these really need to be mixed up very well. The color ones take a lot of mixing. There's a little BB in there to help mix it. And all you do is, has little brushes like fingernail polish, and just flick it. Let's do a few of that one. A few of the cool pool. It'll show up here on the screen what it should though. See how those look metallic in a certain way? The Sparkel Silk, this stuff, one angle has a metallic look through the whole drop, but then if you look straight onto it, it's just sparkle. It's really hard to explain. It looks so much better in person than on the camera, but I love that stuff. So now we will attach our dog here. And that's our finished product. Hopefully you guys like this card. Hopefully my friend will that I'm going to be sending this to. And one last thing I do like to do is I always like to stamp a little stamp on it just so they know that it was handmade. Like I said, most people should know, but I have known some people be like, "Where'd you buy that card?" I'm like, "No, I made it." And they almost didn't want to believe me. I should have done this first, but... So there we go. That's the finished product. And then you sign your name and put a little note if you want to in there and mail it out. So thank you guys for watching. And I always try to remind you guys to look at my description. There's a lot of fun links to my social media and some friends that I like to help support. Also too, there'll be links to most of the supplies if I can find them. I always try to put those in my description. Also too, if you guys like this video, please remember to hit the big thumbs up on this. That helps to tell YouTube you liked it and they share it across YouTube land. And once again, you guys, thank you for watching. And I really hope I can help you through your creative journey by showing my tips and tricks on the things that I do. Have a good day, guys. Bye.